What's going on, ladies and gents? It's Jake, a.k.a. Santa. Countdown ended, bringing you WWE's reason for being on the naughty list. That's right. It's our annual Worst of WWE, and this year of 2025 has certainly been an interesting one. And that's why I come to you not alone. I bring the man, the myth, my elf, the legend, Cody Onidi 316.
This is going to be a perfect video for me because I think that I fit this role in category worst of, because I have been very critical with WWE every live stream we do for Raw and SmackDown. And I think that Mr. Negativity over here has a few negative things to say about WWE this year. So we're going to find out what moments are on the naughty list of 2025 for wrestling.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been some good this year, certainly, but my main thought that I stick to so far, that's really the question, and we'll have our follow-up to this.
You're going to see a big difference in the length of video for worst and best.
Exactly, and that was the opposite last year. Last year, we still had a lot of good, a lot of momentum, a lot of positives. The CM Punk feud with Drew and WrestleMania 40. And
last year, like with 2024, like you would probably turn it into like a 25-30 minute video one. The negative is like this year, we're in for a
ride. So hopefully you guys are ready for it. We are not going to be interrupted by Travis Scott this time. Oh, not again. But I do ask you this, Cody.
That problem.
Yeah, I thought I did as well, but he somehow like a zombie just keeps coming back. Regardless, I ask ye this, O wise Saint Cody. If not for one Cena retirement, would this year have not suffered drastically?
If not for one Cena retirement, I think overall it would have.
Because his retirement pushed ticket sales. I mean, who was going to pay $15,000 for a 4-match, 2-hour card Saturday night's main event if it wasn't John Cena's last night? You know what I mean? Who was going to go out of their way to go to Saudi? Who was going to go out of their way to travel and collect T-shirts and everything that went with the merchandising and the effort and all of it for Mr. Senor Juan Cena? We saw a lot of. So
let's be honest, no offense to anybody on that WWE roster right now. I don't know if ticket sales would have been good without the John Cena retirement for because like what person on that roster right now is really a major ticket draw? You announce them for the show and everyone's going to buy up tickets.
Exactly. And what was the biggest feud this year or the biggest story?
Would you argue it's his heel turn, right? Is that the biggest
So
story?
take away John Cena. What is there? I ask you. What is the biggest story? What is left? Jey Uso and his rise and ascension to take out Gunther.
According to WWE, that's top 5. We'll get into that another day. But
we will.
I think that without his retirement tour this year, absolutely is dead, because that's probably the only thing they had going for them.
That's what they used to prop themselves up majorly. And yes, Cena should be a focal point, but there really was, in hindsight, you could say for a while they focused on Charlotte and Alexa, but that was 100 days. That was less than a third of the year. And even then, it kind of just got off and finished, and that was it. You know, there really wasn't any type of triumph. So how did they start this year? We'll try and be somewhat organized. We are going to bounce all over the place, but not with a new theme and pyro galore with entrances. It's all entrances nowadays, but with the face of the current era.
Don't say that.
Sir Triple H, the Paul Levesque era. Won't say face.
Yeah.
Boy. We get the most bizarre introduction to the Netflix era, because The Rock is there that night. And he cuts one of the most uncomfortably awkward and creatively inept promos I think ever. And I'm not trying to sound hyperbolic immediately, but really, him and Cody had feuded the entire year before year plus. The Cody Crybabies, the matches at Mania, all of it. And then he comes out at Bad Blood. Liz is there in person. 1, 2, 3, slashes his neck, counts. Now he's sharing
nothing
tequila with Cody, and he loves him, and he's the people's champ, and he thanks him. And The Rock appears the next night as well on NXT again with what to say? Fuck all. He asks. I think he was stumbling his daughter. Over everything. He was. Oh, he asks his daughter Ava for inspiration on what he should say, and she says, "You'll know when you go out there in front of these NXT people that love you." What a disaster! But you go back to that initial night, and what happens when the one guy on top formula is no longer an option? They want to have many people. It's not Cody's show, and it's not Cena's show. It's Raw and SmackDown. Cost is way up. The length of content, number of matches, way down, right? We even started this year with the Winged Eagle, and somehow that disappeared. They bumbled into firing R-Truth. He cuts his hair and his return heel turn. And what do we get of it? Nothing. They started on Netflix with the most momentum, I think, ever. People were so convinced, oh, now they can be hardcore. They could be, they're going to go back to beyond TV 14. Forget nudity. Like, we're having full-on penetration here. We're doing it. In it, I mean, they're on TV is what people thought that Netflix, they're going to be able to shoot each other and do various drugs and all this raucous shit. And instead, we got a lot of self-flatulation and ego inflation from Triple H. The Rock fumbled and mumbled all over the place. And we were left wondering, why is Jey Uso the future?
I don't know. Jey Uso
We have two ways to pivot here, because I feel like the Cena stuff has to be spoken about in a bubble because it's his own thing. I am not saying the heel turn was a failure. I'm saying his retirement tour was. How they were so blind to the fact and truly inept is not strong enough of a word. I would like to say foolish, but that doesn't even feel quite, adequate. They had belief in their ability to be so righteous in every choice that they couldn't fumble. If you recall WWE Unreal, Triple H was so full of himself that they cannot miss. Remember that.
They cannot miss.
They
WWE Unreal. Like they were laughing about it like it was impossible to fumble. Like, oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Great. So we're gonna they wasted Cena's last year, if you ask me. Precious months, precious time where no one wanted to boo him. You put him in pointless tag matches, and we're gonna go over his entire last year, 6 of which are Logan Paul bouts. You then realize it's happening, but you don't take any effort to pivot. You just surrender. You made Cena go out there and throw in the towel like it was his fault. You made him go out there and chew up everything that he had been spitting out, and now he had to swallow it. They legit went and made Cena the night before SummerSlam step in front of the crowd and say, yeah, I, John Cena, fucked up, not you. I betrayed you because I was afraid. I shouldn't have. And this is my lame retort as to why I turned heel, and it makes no sense still. They gave us a amazing moment with the heel turn. Yes, because it was unexpected. It's what the game. It's what he does best, Cody. It is. He makes moments. He makes the moments. He makes moments.
Let's get this situated because I know other podcasters like JD, you got playing for this as well, but there's a difference when we talk about here when we're going to approach his heel run and his heel turn, and that's why you're going to be shocked that we have heel turn, spoiler alert, on the top of our list for when we do best things, because that is different from a heel run. Just to clarify.
I mean, we start off with Cena at the Rumble, and people are all about it. They actually want John Cena to win the damn Royal Rumble. Go to Mania as a face, as a good guy. Got to work on that. Yeah. And challenge Cody Rhodes for number 17.
Listen, and I do get what they were thinking of there, saying, oh, Cody Rhodes and John Cena, both baby faces in the main event of WrestleMania. It's just like they're wrestling themselves. Like, so I get you have to do something different and turn somebody heel. And then
but you didn't have to. Okay, you really didn't have to turn anybody because there was so much history here of, Cody wants to be the next guy. He looked up. I think they could have made it work because think about the story that they told.
Good guys.
It could have worked. Cena's on his way out. He needs to win this, and Cody needs to prove that his time is now, and he's better than Cena. They had stories of I rode with you, I learned from you, but I am not you. I am better than you.
I would have turned Cena heel at WrestleMania because Cody Rhodes keeps kicking out of everything, and fuck Travis Scott and The Rock.
Oh, if they had to turn him, if that was definitely, we've said that to death. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you there. But because I'm saying I wouldn't have done it
Cena
at all.
Is so desperate to win 17. And he's thinking he's not going to capture it there where he goes and does things that. But again, I don't think Cody and Cena would have been a good main event as both baby faces in a way. I think they had to spice up the story.
They could have pulled
which they
it
tried
off,
to do.
Like you said, it no matter what wasn't there, and how they got there. Well, that's what we're saying because we flash back to February, and where are we? We're in Toronto.
Yo, we clutched up in Toronto.
That's right. We're at the Elimination Chamber, spaz up in the dome. Right?
Did you get our passports? I
forgot it. We took the sleigh.
Oh, shit.
So tell the EB we need to get back. John doesn't cheat to win, essentially. He capitalizes on Seth Rollins hating CM Punk. But there's no TS in sight. It doesn't happen. Instead, we get the turn. Seth Rollins gets eliminated. He stomps onto Punk. Cena, right there, takes out one of his greatest rivals of all times to face Cody Rhodes at Mania. He comes out, and Cody's congratulating Cena. And The Rock comes out, and there's Scott. And what happens? They're going to join forces. The three of them, some type of Hollywood elite. But it comes after Cena won. He's going to Mania, so why turn now? And that's what we never got an answer to. With this heel turn, the why, people will say the you people promo, but the actual why has never been explained throughout all of it. And when they abandon it hard. And we saw because The Rock is nowhere in sight. And what happened was The Rock came back. They wanted to make a quote unquote push to sell more added seats last minute. They make the angle and creative writes him something so good that he can't say no. He wants to turn Cody heel, but sound advice tells him no. Cena's a good soldier. He agrees to do it against his best judgment because we know no one wants to boo John Cena in his retirement year.
You said The Rock wanted to turn Cody heel, right?
Yes.
Then I think, actually, I'm going to give Rock credit here. I think The Rock was correct. Cody Rhodes would have been a better heel than Cena.
And he's going to be money as a heel, but The Rock was doing it not because he thought it was great, it's because he thought it was best for him. When he didn't get what he wanted, he tanked everything. He was pissed that he didn't get the match the year before, and he didn't get the creative he wanted this time. So he knew, hey, I'm going to make John look like an ass. And that's exactly what he did. Travis Scott slowly saunters out there. He's the one to save the day. And thankfully from there, we never see that little dipshit again. I can finally go ahead and that's it.
But I guess we do disagree a little there. I don't think that match would have been good at all with two basic, the same type of baby faces.
So I got to ask you a question. Did you like the SummerSlam match?
That's a little different because you built on story there.
Not really, though, because John turned face the night before the match on SmackDown. Right, the night before their SummerSlam match, John turns no longer heel, now he's face. Suddenly, immediately, no reason why. He just goes, I fucked up, I was wrong, I was afraid, I'm sorry, kind of. And that was the story. So they
fair.
had a great face match. People are saying that's number one for a lot of people this year on their list. That's why I'm convinced it could have worked. But I see your point. It could have been so much more than just worked. Their match at SummerSlam was only as great as it was, the rose-tinted glasses. And you're right, Cody. I'm telling you, you're right, because Mania was so bad.
I know Cena says don't talk about the what ifs, but I'm going to anyway, Cena. So the what ifs, I think if The Rock stayed around with Cena during this entire thing, I think that would have been a better story than a face versus face match.
Absolutely. And no, but I'm telling you right now, you're right. And you will not hear that come out of my mouth again this year. I do not allow it. But Cody, you're right in this situation. They should have had one of them turned and add a whole new element to this story. And realistically, it should have been Cody, because turning Cena now in his goodbye year was never set to work unless they had the story so planned out in advance like we thought they did. But it turns out they had nothing ready. And John's admitted that over the last few interviews. Like it happened as it happened, and it continually developed, is what he said.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you about this face thing.
Yes.
Like, I have some like trauma, because I've said people are going to be face before, and I've been attacked.
It's come back to bite you. Yes.
Yeah. So I have to say everyone is heel. Okay, Jake, you understand?
I got you. I totally get it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anyway. I totally agree. And but that's the thing here. You're not wrong, because I got so much shit for it as well, saying that John shouldn't have turned heel. But I do not feel, because you look back at the heel turn, people were still cheering him. And that was the problem. That's why the heel turn didn't work as well. When he went up next after Mania against the Viper, Randy Orton
would like break character because he would get to him how everyone's just cheering him.
Absolutely. Think about what we got. Two most decorated performers clash, and now that the roles are reversed, but that's not what we get. We get R-Truth involved, and it's as Ron Cena, not even R-Truth. He has to act like this is his favorite superstar, and that's his, all the silly comedy angles. So fine, we get a Saturday night's main event special, and he's going to defend it against Ron Cena, and they have fun with it. It's a great encounter.
I kind of
but
like the Randy and Cena match.
It was good until the end, and the end is what got me, because they made it about R-Truth when it needed to be about Orton.
People were talking about how bad that match was going to stink because they're older now, but that actually probably might be one of their top 3 matches ever against each other, besides the R-Truth.
A lot of what Cena gave us in his final year was damn good. That's the problem here.
Best matches ever.
Yes,
a lot of these.
Then we got Money in the Bank. R-Truth is fired. He's released. Fans go nuts. They get him back, and Truth says the truth has been, set him free, and now he's Ron Killings. He shaves off his dreads, standing on the announce table.
Be like a heel.
He was. He turned heel. He was, and now he's going to almost a bit psychotic in a way. He's going to protect, R-Truth by being Ron Killings,
because he's supposed to be like this spitting image of like Cena somehow, right? Because they're so like whatever Cena does, he does, right?
Yep. So they face off again before Clash of Champions. Too. So now it's heel R-Truth, Ron Killings against Cena. And what happens? Oh, it's a low blow, and the match is over in seconds. And that leads to the biggest, I don't want to say feud of Cena's year, but it really was. Him and Punk, he even said this was the highlight for him as well, and for many reasons, but I hate his reason for it. If it was in any other location, this would have toppled. But because it was in Saudi, all everyone cared about is that, oh my God, remember what you said to Miz about all right. We trampled through that. Punk apologized and said it wasn't about the people. It was something I wasn't, that I should have said. I'm sorry, I was wrong. The people accept him.
By the way, by WWE, so
well, hey. It worked, and the people that night, they cheered him. They booed him when he first got there. He apologized. They cheered him.
Do you think he was actually sorry? Or do you think
I genuinely don't feel like he ever set out to hurt the people there. And Cena is right. You think about how much it's changed. Cena was there at the start, and he was there now. When they started, it was nothing but couches.
Do you argue like
no,
WWE
think about it.
what to do? I know what, or
I don't think he was told because it was originally his idea. I think they helped instigate the plant and all of that, but he did say he wanted to apologize publicly. He was going to do it at the pre-show. So I think they helped that be an instigated, planted moment.
That was a good moment, I guess.
It worked out very well. I think it is sincere because here's the thing, and like John said too, when they first went over there was couches and royals and there was no noise. You couldn't clap, you couldn't, it was very jarring. And he's like, and they learned how to be fans just like we learned about their culture. And now it's nothing but families and kids screaming from the rafters. I mean, they were some of the loudest shows this year, were they not?
No, I'll give that to them. Saudi Arabia crowds are some of my favorite crowds.
They've improved drastically, and so everything bad that you see, it's about the government. People could say the same thing about us and everything we have going on here politically that I try to avoid in the mix.
That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not mad about them getting a WrestleMania per se, because why don't those people deserve one? Why
exactly?
Don't
it sucks that it's at the hands of what it is with the kingdom and Saudi and all
the
that.
The women's wrestlers have to
there's a lot of negative to it, yes.
Outfits, but I know a lot of them have said that it's comfortable for them.
Yeah, but there's a lot of men and women there that are, children and families that are enjoying this now, that are getting to do things that they never got to before and have this entertainment. So I see that side to it, and that always meant more to me than the political nature of it. So I think Punk was legitimate. You laid it out. The women's rights, there's still a huge issue. The silencing
the Royal Rumble is going to be a disaster for them because they don't have any creativity in their gear. They're going to
lack of freedom of speech.
People like Bailey and Liv Morgan said they were sweating so much when they took it was just a pool full of fucking sweat for them because how hot it is.
That's rough.
I feel bad for them there.
Yeah, they've all dealt with those, and especially with the heat over there. So there's a lot of negatives, but I think Punk's apology was profoundly truthful because he was mad at corporate WWE for being involved with the kingdom, and then it was Miz running his mouth that he attacked through that. So it wasn't the people, but he said something that hurt the people, and and people were like, oh my God, Punk can apologize. The old Punk would have never done that. Yeah, because the old Punk was an asshole, and he had to learn and grow up. He had to kind of get fired. Yes, he left, and however you want to call it, but he needed that time away to become a different person. And then what did he see? He saw the shoe on the other foot. The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's where you water it. He got to see how AEW runs, and he's like, well, I don't care for this much. It's kind of a minor league thing in my eyes. I don't like it. And he went back to WWE. I don't think he would have gone back to WWE to wrestle had they not pushed him back in with open arms. But that's its own, And then we get to what? Money in the Bank, all of that. We get the Night of Champions, and then we have the long pause till SummerSlam. And the problem is, at this time, the focus is on Seth Rollins and his fake injury and that cash in, everything in with Punk. So Cena and Cody is a big deal, but now it's Cena becoming good the night before their fight.
Just randomly, no story to become good. Just so sorry, yeah.
And Cody, not to shit on you here, because you are right about the Mania match needed something, but because their Mania match was so marred in controversy and so shitty, so fiend, so Travis Scotted, that Meltzer gave the SummerSlam match 5 stars. Cena's first since 2011 when him and Punk faced off at Money in the Bank. So that face versus face match at SummerSlam got 5 stars from AEW faithful Dave Meltzer.
Oh, same Meltzer that's never given Kurt Angle 5 stars, right?
That same one. That's why I don't put a lot of stock in his ratings. But I'm just trying to show you that he was so down on WWE this year, especially, that even he gave that face versus face match
we're going to get into him and his stooges over at Sports Illustrated that he defended. We're gonna that's another video.
Well, we're going to be covering AEW's best and worst in one video as well, and that's going to be an interesting inclusion with Dave Meltzer, indeed. But what did we get from there? Now he's back, and they're on the same page. They're going to do a tag match against Logan and Drew. All right.
Wait,
and then
not to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
You said we're going to have an AEW best and worst.
Yes.
AEW has anything good?
Okay, so we're going to have the worst of the year for AEW. And
and best.
best of Ring of Honor. Oh, that doesn't.
No one watches that. Like,
best of Dark. Oh, that's good. Collision.
No.
Shockwave. Did that premiere? No,
it got canceled. I think before it even begun.
Then what? They go to Europe, motherfucker. They go to Europe, and Logan Paul.
True.
Logan Paul gets to fight him in Europe. And then they have all that shit in Paris, and it was nothing great. And then eventually he did this stuff with Sami Zayn, and he got the U.S. Open Challenge.
That was a really good match, by the way.
That was a great match. But at this point in time, it leads to him being squashed by Lesnar at WrestlePalooza.
Okay. And yet you can pull up the receipts. I'll admit it here first, so you don't even have to. I defended that at first. Remember the WrestlePalooza review we did? I defended this at first because I thought
you thought
my mistake for giving WWE the benefit of the doubt, saying, okay, this is going to lead into a War Games scenario where Cena will get his revenge in War Games. I was right about Brock Lesnar being in War Games.
Yeah,
but John Cena and Brock Lesnar, that match didn't need to happen. You could have saved that for like I don't know, like who could have had him face that he didn't get to?
There's a ton of people. Exactly. There was, and Joe Hendry was there. There was quite a few people that were, could have happened along the way. The Miz, even at some point, would have been grand.
So people would have complained about, the Miz sucks.
The Miz put out a touching tribute to John Cena, bringing up the last time they got to work together, they were a team. And that's when he joined them when they were the Awesome Truth the night after WrestleMania when they won the Raw Tag Team titles. And he's like, it's kind of sweet and bittersweet that we got to work our last match together as a unit, as friends, as teammates. He's like, we've been enemies, we've been rivals, but we're also been on the same page, and I respect you and thank you. And I couldn't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Like a mixed with like not to the level, but like CM Punk and stuff, like
it's up there.
Like CM Punk and John Cena always hated each other, but
the Miz won at WrestleMania. Did Punk beat Cena at WrestleMania? I mean, come on.
No. The Miz deserved the match. And hey, speaking about the Miz, let me get this out of the way real quick. People talk about how bad the Miz is. The Miz brought Jey Uso to one of his better wrestling matches in a while.
Yeah.
During that tournament. Yeah.
The Miz
was the Miz.
The Miz has delivered time and time again.
The Miz can wrestle his ass off when he wants to, just to let you know. So all this Miz hate, you can shove it up your ass and see it later.
But I see why you gave it the benefit of the doubt somewhere. I just couldn't, and I knew that they were going to just do it to do it.
Build into War Games.
A lot of people thought so, and because it made sense. But then they had their own plans. So we knew Cena's last opponent
and we
from
were like,
day one.
Wait, making sense. Never mind. That's not in WWE.
They're not in that wheelhouse. Yeah. So Cena goes down under, has a great match with the Phenomenal One. Then he gets his Grand Slam win. He has another match with Dom at Survivor Series.
Let's talk about this.
Yes, he faces Dom in Boston.
Grand Slam, since this is like worse, like was the Grand Slam thing necessary, or did it like kind of kill things that could have been done?
I don't think it should have happened realistically, but it was a make-do for all of the bad of the year. It was a way to celebrate something and give John the Grand Slam accolade. All the accolades he has, does this really make a difference or mean anything? I mean, he didn't even successfully defend it once. Like, what is it? What is a title reign? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not being rude. I'm genuinely saying he didn't even defend it one time successfully. So do you call him a successful champion even? It's Dom losing the title in Boston certainly isn't a great thing for Dom. It worked out in the end because of Liv, but
it worked with the Survivor.
But look at how much help he needed to win. Look at how much he needed to get that back. He needed the entirety of Judgment Day and a returning Liv Morgan to put down John Cena. So
since this isn't the same match, like, would you call the overall Dom and John match good at Survivor Series? And was the Liv Morgan return on your best or bad? Would you say that's better or worse?
It's kind of both. I mean, that's really the main issue. So,
yeah. So you don't like this match in particular?
It wasn't a terrible match. It just wasn't anything to write home about. And at that point, it was another safe standard John Cena match, and especially after we just came out of the AJ Styles one.
It was a John Cena and Dominic match for the Intercontinental Championship, and the biggest talking point of that match was Liv Morgan returning.
Yeah,
and
it was nothing but
spotlight,
but that was it. It was all about the outside interference. It wasn't about John. It wasn't about his wrestling. It was, I mean, he took moves from Raquel and Roxanne more than he did from Dominic, really. And then this all
the three
led,
ladies of Judgment Day over. Wow.
Then he does nothing. We would do the 6-man tag, and then nothing until he takes off his sneakers in the ring when he taps out to Gunther, and the tap out.
I think he didn't take off anything else.
Right? Yeah. John deserved better. And when you look back at this year, they wasted so much time, so many precious months, forcing people to try and boo him when no one wanted to. They were still cheering Cena. The audience would try to play along. And that's one thing I do appreciate about 2025 is the audience knowing their role. They are, knowing their role, not shutting their mouth. And they're getting involved, and the lights would turn off, and Raw would be over, and then they'd chant "Thank you, Cena," and they'd boo him while on camera. But it wasn't the same. And from that "You People" promo onward,
too.
Yeah,
by the way,
a lot of people.
Experienced that. I went to a few shows this year. So with a lot of people, in particular the MSG show I recently went to, they do that a lot. By the way,
Cancer story worked out quite well for us. Got you to a few things. All that cancer, But yeah, no, absolutely. The audience knows their role. And instead it was Travis Scott and The Rock.
That, by the way.
Yeah, it should be all right. I mean, a lot of people get cancer, so they won't figure it out. The sudden face turn, the lame retort as to why he turned, never answering why he actually turned, the "you people" thing. And then the way they did it, too, I understand they didn't want to make Cena cool and cheered, they thought. So let's not give him a new theme and let's not give him new gear and whatnot. But that made it feel even less inspired and even less thought out. So it just was like, oh, he's a heel because he's got no Tron. He walks now instead of runs.
I would have rather him came out to no music than if he wasn't getting a
Tommaso
new theme song.
Ciampa.
I think what he did at WrestleMania was perfect.
Yeah.
I think that would have been better. You get nothing, no Titan Tron, just all black, come out to nothing. You get nothing. And even that was ridiculous, but heel coming out with his bright colors still.
Yeah. Ridiculous. And Gunther making him tap. Yes, I understand the reference, the Obi-Wan-ism, the he gave up to set into the sunset, flew too close to the sun, and now like Icarus, he had to let go. I totally get what they're going for, but it doesn't work with 20 plus years of Cena. Do not ever give up. And now all those cancer kids and all the sick people, give up. It's okay when you're done at the end.
And I don't think the people that support this are wrong either. I don't think they're wrong per se, because I get both sides of this argument.
You didn't read the room. No one wanted to boo John. No one wanted to see John lose in his farewell. He didn't need to go out on his shield. You've had other people retire and win. You could have done this again.
Gunther is a massive heel now. I get Gunther's going to get
kind of. He's getting heat, but he's not the biggest heel. He's getting heat right now. He's getting booed. But how long will this last, and how long are people going to care? Because the thing is, Cena's going now.
Alert again. Gunther just reiterated this Monday, I made John Cena tap like a little bitch. John Cena's a little bit. That's what he did again this upcoming Monday. Just spoiler alert.
Again, he's reiterating the same. Quick. And how why is it going to get old? Because Cena's not there. What did Vince always say to do? You can never promise a match that don't advertise something that you're not able to at least guarantee. So what did he do with Roman Reigns after he won? He didn't come out there and say, I beat Undertaker's ass. I fucked him up. I am the best ever. I'm the big... No, he said, it's my yard now. Because Vince wouldn't let him say...
perfect.
It worked. It wasn't... I wouldn't say perfect in my eyes, but
I think that was... Because you don't need to say a lot. That one sentence was perfect, I think, for him.
It worked.
With fuck you, Roman.
Yeah, with the crowd eating him alive. And here's the thing,
I wouldn't have had him say anything other than that.
Yeah, he made it work. The crowd wouldn't let him talk, and that's what built to it. But the point is like, these are Vince lost his mind long ago. I'm not saying Vince would be a better booker. I'm just saying that was one of the things I do miss about the times of Vince McMahon, where you don't, because a lot of it now is moments, and then we don't get the matches. We get things teased all the time, and nothing plays out of it, and it's been unfortunate. So now they're saying, oh, I made Cena tap. I made Cena tap. But who did he get into an encounter with? Asian, Tucker and Otis. So Akira Tozawa and Otis, no one gives a shit if he destroys them. AJ Styles is retiring. So what? You're going to retire AJ now too, so people can boo that? You're going to retire Lesnar. People aren't going to, give a shit about him retiring Lesnar. I feel like they don't have him go up against anybody that people are like, oh, we care so much. They killed Sami Zayn's, crowd love. They've had him be the underdog so many times and not get it done. WWE has this idea that they're going to get people over. Brian Alvarez has said it. I've said it so many times, but I don't want to sound like it's my idea alone. But the point is here, they feel like all the time, they do it a lot in NXT, but even on the main roster, they're going to get people over by having them lose and lose and lose and lose, so that when they eventually do get it, oh, now you love them. You've been through this journey. But they don't see that people care that they lost so many times that they don't have the same love for them. Look at LA Knight. People adore LA Knight, but he's been beaten and fucked over so many times that he doesn't have the same authority on the mic that he did even 6 months ago. There's a lot of people right now that are hurting because they have to keep beating them and beating them. We've seen Javon go for the NXT title 6 or 7 times this year and never make it. We've seen.
Oh, why'd you say it?
I know.
You said 6 or so.
Ah, Jesus. 6. So we I'm sorry. But going with the memes, going with the silly, having Jey Uso flashing back to really go through 2025.
Ew.
Not going through, we avoided the Cena stuff, but you don't want to see Jay flash through because he won the Royal
we
Rumble.
almost saw Cena flash. He was taking a lot of things off.
And you're not even talking about the Oscars. So, yeah, John loses and Jay wins the Royal Rumble, and so does Charlotte. Wow, Charlotte's a face, and she won the Rumble. Now what?
Oh yeah, so this is a big contradictory to like what people are saying, because people are calling us hypocrites because we criticized this when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble. I know this is my shtick, and this is the worst of. So Cody's worst of takes is here we are. Okay, but the contradictory to this is people are saying we complained about Charlotte returning to win the Rumble, which would make no sense, but we wanted Liv to return and win the Rumble. Do you think there's a difference between those two?
There's such a major difference between characters, portrayal, crowd adulation, where they stand at this point in time. Charlotte is not, especially then, a fan favorite. They rehabbed her image by tying her to Alexa to a certain extent, but that's the first time she's been cheered at all as a face, is being attached at the hip to Alexa Bliss and having them be frenemies. Yeah. The highlight of what Charlotte had as a face was her and Tiffany going off script to the point where people didn't know if they could work together at WrestleMania. And that shouldn't be a positive. That promo should not be a positive at all whatsoever, because that was embarrassing, the way that they had to feel that bitter and attacking each other in such a public way. But Tiffany felt like she was forced to, because of the way Charlotte and her insecurities as Ashley had handled all of this.
Yep,
she played the ultimate victim.
Tiffany, of course.
Yes.
Go apologize to Charlotte, of course, because Charlotte's not going to get yelled at by them.
No, the Nepo Queen herself managed to come out unscathed, even though she was the veteran and should have handled herself better.
Isn't that crazy how much some of these people have that much power? Like Charlotte can go off script, and WWE is going to be like, "Oh."
I'm shocked that Tiffany Stratton went ahead and managed to win, and retain. That was
yeah, because I think they like her enough where they're like, we like her though too. So
I was
pretend this never happened.
Baffled, absolutely baffled, and I don't know what to make of it.
If this was under Vince, Like Tiffany might have been fired, and Vince would have probably asked, "Are you okay?"
You're not wrong. And what did we get on the other half? We got Jey Uso winning, and that was one of the most disliked videos. And what did it lead to? Now Jay has nothing to do until Mania, so he takes on A-Town Down Under.
Hypocrites. I'm gonna give this a. I'm gonna give people the benefit of the doubt here that call this that hypocrites. Like everyone was screaming for some. Jay needs to win that world title. You call him main event Jey Uso, and you don't do anything with him. Why aren't you letting him do anything? Let him have a big moment. Let Jey Uso do this. Then the WWE's like, all right, Jey Uso's winning the Royal Rumble. Why is Jey Uso getting big moments? What the fuck?
What it is that he didn't feel like he earned his way into the title picture. He was again thrusted into it.
People were complaining that he wasn't getting this.
Yes,
and then they give it to him.
But I think they wanted to see him be rehabbed and presented in a way where he was putting on excellent matches and making us care about him more. Instead, they didn't make us worry or give a shit about him. They just made him the number one contender. And then on the way there, they didn't ingratiate him with fans at all. They didn't make him a sympathy case. They didn't make him feel like he needed to win.
The last few weeks of that.
Barely even, because look at how they had him and Austin Theory have probably one of the worst matches ever. So then people felt like, oh, Jay can't even go with Austin Theory, and we're supposed to believe. Remember the dive over the top rope and all the shit that came of that? People were like, oh, so now these two lame bums can't even take him out. What the hell is going to happen when he faces Gunther? Like, it didn't feel like he was the number one contender. He was the Rumble winner. He was the next in line. It just felt like we're supposed to view him as that, but he never ascended to that plane. And then he makes Gunther fucking tap. Of all things, he doesn't pin him. He makes him tap. Gunther.
Oh,
Gunther.
The same Gunther that tapped out the guy that never tapped out since doing the never give up.
Yes, that one.
So,
hey. Holy sh**. Like, what the... Who's booking this shit?
Did this to get rid of
my wife. Oh, that makes sense. Thanks.
I want to have mine Gunther getting pinned. I wouldn't have minded that.
No, but that's what I'm talking about this entire year of not reading the room and worried about moments. Oh, we made him tap. See, that's better than pinning him. That really puts him as the main event. And then how did they follow it up? They did nothing with Jay. He had no story, no great defense. He went all the way to Money in the Bank in a tag match with Cody to then lose it the next night on Raw. And he knew he had that Raw match coming, and instead he cared more about, his friends than the champion. So we're supposed to care about a guy who doesn't care about the title, and we're supposed to care that he's the champion when he doesn't. And then when he loses the title, he's going to flip out because he's not the champion, but he didn't give a shit enough about it to defend it when he had it. And people are hypocrites, yes, but they never showed him once to be main event Jey Uso.
Like every match that he was in, why didn't you let him win?
I agree. But you said it right there, match. They wanted him to rack up wins and build up and tell this story again.
That was it per se.
He was losing all the time at that point. That was part of it. That's why people were upset, because he was just getting fucking steamrolled, and he went from getting steamrolled to winning the Rumble, and just like fucking Jinder Mahal, he's no longer a jobber. We got him back on the right train. With his brother, he's the best tag team wrestler ever. On his own, he can't accomplish shit. And then all of a sudden he can, without showing why or more work being put in or effort.
We can get into that Jay thing though, because like about that you just brought up, like Jey Uso crashed out because he feels like he can't succeed and win a world title on his own, like that, and make it mean something like Roman did.
Yes,
but so to follow up that crash out, he's just back to himself
again. Back with the Usos, and it's not a delay. It's not. We're going to wrap up 2025. We already know the taping for next week, what happens on Raw. So we can say in 2025, he does not turn on his brother. He does not. Nothing. There is no payoff to everything that happened this entire year in this year, anyways.
Speaking about that, we're going to follow up to that into this segue real quick. I hate to do this to you, but so just to wrap up things and delaying things. So like when I know I'm doing it again, but when Liv Morgan returned, you said she should be at Rumble because things are going to get sidetracked because December is a month that they don't really do much with, and then the Liv fans were like, "Oh, it'll be fine, I'll be fine." But then this happens, and then December goes around. Oh, WWE's pushing it off because of the holidays and stuff, and then fans were like, "Yeah, well, it's the holidays, so why have her do anything?"
And she's
now?
not wrestled. She's been an afterthought the entire time. And now we're hearing, oh, Dominic might be injured with the AAA event last night, so we don't know where he stands. So that's even more risky because now we don't know what's going to happen at all.
So it sounds like we should have just left her for the Rumble, huh?
Yeah, they pushed and she pushed to come back early for nothing. And that's kind of one of the things that leads me into my next point, which I'm glad you brought this up because it's a big deal till it's not. And that's been one of the major issues with this year. Like you just said with Jay, there's no payoff. He crashes out, nothing happens. One of the ones I want to talk about is a fan favorite who has been so badly disrespected this year. It's ungodly. And you cannot find a better comparison to someone just being mistreated than Bayley. Honestly, think about it. All she, during the COVID times and all she put in and the way she supported the company and the way she continued to push through. She got damage control over. She made EO and Kyrie and even Asuka to a certain extent. And, hey, I think I'm forgetting somebody. Maybe not. She made everybody a star. She made them important. And it all led to the stuff that happened at Mania last year. And Bayley gets her big comeuppance. Going to get a revenge. And
over.
Yeah, and then Bayley and Lyra is the current tag team. They're working together, and Lyra's got the IC belt and all this stuff. And Bayley gets attacked and misses Mania without
who
any
attacked her
real.
again?
And she gets replaced by Becky Lynch, who ends up being the attacker, which is
Becky,
as obvious as it could be.
Becky attacked, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
okay,
Becky comes
right.
back as a face so that the fans, because everybody was going to cheer her. And then, hey, the next night you cost me the title. I snap. I beat the hell out of you. And then I take your IC title as well. And then they were off to the races. But who did they leave behind entirely? Bayley. And by the time she came back, they insert her into a triple threat. But she's such an afterthought that no one believes in her and no one pays attention to her, to the point where she's off TV for a while.
I would have given the win to Bayley when they did that triple threat.
I would have as well. And we had everything there at Evolution. We thought it was going to be Bayley's time. We thought it was going to be set up. No. So then Bayley ends up in some type of room, a therapy thing. We don't know what's going to go on, but she's hearing voices. She's snapping. When she's slapped, she snaps.
Tell me.
Nothing. Her and Lyra are fighting. They're feuding. They're going to kill each other. They're best friends. It's done. And now she can kind of have a superpower where if she slaps Bayley every now and again, it works and makes her mad, but only when she finds it to be convenient.
Yep.
It's very frustrating. And she's just one of many. Finn Balor and JD spent a partial time of the year as tag team champions. But when they're not tag champs, they don't even give a shit that they're not tag champs. And that's all they can be as tag champs. Because if they're not holding the belts and not defending them, they're only backstage with the Judgment Day crew to do some silly vignette. There's so many people that they have just started to push or do something with and then forget about. Like Jacob Fatu. I understand he's got dental surgery and shit now, but for the remainder of this year, everything that happened up until, WrestlePalooza time, my God, they failed this man. There have been so many different individuals that they have treated not as they deserve. Randy Orton is not going to be with us much longer. He's not. And this is what they're doing with him. They go out and they have The Rock get in front of a New Orleans crowd and tell them that WrestleMania 42 is coming. It's coming to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And then what happens? They take it away from them and they send it to Vegas, and then they send the one after to Riyadh. To fucking of all places.
You see the excitement in Undertaker, Bianca, Charlotte, Liv, Seth. Who else was there? All their faces.
They were thrilled.
It was just the
It
funniest
was
press
great.
conference. All of them just sitting there. Oh,
We have it as our trailer on this channel, folks. But please, if you're ever bored and you need a laugh, go check out our review of WWE's big 2025 announcement when they revealed the location for WrestleMania 43.
Just look at all the wrestlers.
Their faces are so locked in a stoic phase. It is undeniably incredible to witness, especially in hindsight, knowing that they had Vegas 41, they had Vegas for 42, and then, oh, by the way, New Orleans, you're not getting 42 or 43 or 44. Sorry. There's been so many things that they've stopped.
We'll give you
started.
money in the bank, though.
We basically had Chelsea Green with the inaugural Women's United States Championship. And she actually makes something of the belt. The stupid feud with Michin turns into something entertaining. Why? Because Chelsea does several great things. Not only does she maximize her minutes, but she uses as much effort as humanly possible at all times. She does.
Yep.
And she put forth, she threw salsa and pudding and shit on her face to get the trash can spot right. Spicy salsa. They didn't even get mild. She burned her eyes for us. She did the Cactus Jack thing, she loves wrestling. So what does she do? She puts in her all, and she gives us a starting, but it's an excellent start to a really good title reign. And fuck it, give it to Zelina Vega. Why? So we can get a video of her at the 9/11 memorial so she can show her dad the belt and look what she won. Zelina didn't have a successful defense after that. No, I understand the sentiment, but they didn't do it. Right, but they didn't do it for Zelina Vega. Every time September 11th rolls around, they usher her out and be like, "Remember your dad? We do now." They do it every year, and they don't do it to pay tribute or honor him.
About that.
Exactly. I get her wanting to bring the belt, but they set up the cameras. They said it wasn't from her Instagram. It was WWE.
That should be
production.
more like of a personal moment, like without cameras.
And to show you how they don't care about her, Julia won and then did nothing with it. And she won in under a minute. They just fucked off with that belt, and it meant nothing until they forgot about Julia and gave it back to Chelsea Green. Julia beat Alba Fire at SmackDown this week. And there were literal crickets. They were literal crickets, though, Cody. No one reacted.
And no offense to Chelsea Green either.
Yeah.
Like, what do all of them have in common with that Women's United States Championship and winning it?
They're women?
They do nothing with a fucking title.
That too, And Becky, she's strong, but every time the belt's on the line, she's going to lose. Like, that's how it, you know what I mean? Mania, no direction. What does Cody do afterwards? He loses, and they just kind of have him fuck off until he gets revenge at SummerSlam. They really made him look like, I got fucked up, Travis Scott, all that shit that happened. I should be mad. I should want to kill The Rock. But you know who was more mad? CM Punk. Ooh. He came out and gave us that amazing promo with the bald fraud and all this shit. That's definitely going to be on the best of list. Punk cut some great promos this year.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest ridiculous things I feel like was the turn at Mania with Seth. Paul Heyman's going to side with him, and he's going to make a new Shield. I mean, Vision.
Yeah.
Everything is boring and bare. And I sound, again, it's the end of the world. But really, this was all propped up by the love we had developed with a star we used to hate. People hated John Cena, myself included, for a long time. I had gotten out of wrestling about 2006, my college time. Came in back, like I said, around 2008-ish, and Cena was everywhere. And I was like, what? And then he couldn't lose. It was Super Cena all along, all the way up until, 2011-ish. And it wasn't until, I want to say, the U.S. title stuff, and that's when he got himself with the fans with the open challenge and giving other people opportunities, and he started to become more of a locker room leader and that workhorse, and he changed in fans' minds. He put in a lot of effort, had great matches with AJ Styles and Sami Zayn and others, and it just kept building. The work we did here with, with Bray and Rusev and so on. We don't get that here. Seth goes on a heel turn. He's got Braun Breaker with him, and they're going to feud with Roman and Punk and even a little bit of Cody, you know. But it's really, you know, Punk's the main guy, but Roman, the issue there is that he's not full time. So he fucks off way too much. And I mean way too much. He's there for a month, and that means one match, 2 promos, and the return. And then he's gone for at least 3 months minimum every single time until Mania. If he's around in the Rumble, if he's not champ, he's fucking off. They have
it's a pain in the ass.
LA Knight being super over, selling merch. They got to play it safe. He's got to lose the division.
Confused, though, because WWE made a statement saying they thought they booked LA Knight quite well this year.
Right? They thought they stood by him great.
Yeah.
They did. They thought, yeah, they did great with LA Knight.
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the park, right? Beat him until he's no more. So Seth turns heel, then feigns an injury in one of the dumbest, that's my number one biggest issue with this year, no doubt, was the fake injury of Seth Rollins hurting his knee at Saturday night's main event against LA Knight. And he's lying to the people in the locker room. He's posting photos with his daughter and video uploads of him, you know, walking with a knee brace and crutches just to go ahead and fool Punk, to pull one over on CM Punk at SummerSlam. He needed Punk to believe he was hurt so that he could not appear from the, you know, under the ring and attack him suddenly because he didn't know he was coming. He walks out with the crutches, makes a big deal of it, drops them. The theme song plays. He's got to cash in. And then all of that, after trying to cash in before with the Punk match in Night of Champions over in Riyadh, right? You know, Seth had to ruin that match with Punk and, you know, John Cena. Last time we'll get them two fighting. Let's get Seth in there because this needs to happen. They messed up so badly with Seth this year. Every time they injected him into something, it was where he did not need to be. And faking the injury has done the worst thing possible, and it's made the fans mistrust the wrestlers. They worked so hard for years to get this right, to get the talent at a place where people get injured and fans are okay with it, and now they support him. Used to be they got injured and then you get mad. I'm serious. People would get pissed off and they would be like, oh, so-and-so is injury prone and we don't want them. And now people are like, damn, get healthy. We understand. We know about concussions more. We know about CTE. They play it safe. They end matches if things happen. So you fake the injury for no gain at all, no benefit.
How many times this year has a wrestler had like a fake injury, then they actually got injured afterwards? Right.
And then Seth gets hurt afterwards. And they immediately strip him of the title. They take it from him. They you know, he's banished from the group. He's out. He's gone.
You know what's funny? They do that, but then they say, "Oh, Seth is out because of Cody Rhodes."
Yes, he got hurt by Cody Rhodes, not the Vision.
The Vision beat down. Yep.
And then on top of not having the right people be the ones to take him out, they then go ahead and they make it so that, hey, let's wait until we get the scans. Let's see what the doc. No, we're going to take it off of him immediately. The next night, he's done. We're coming back from Australia. We're taking the belt off of him. And now, 2 months later, or excuse me, almost 3. That was in October. We're in December. So a little over 2 months. Seth is at the Chicago Bears game, throwing his arm around. No cast, no sling, no nothing. I'm not saying he could wrestle, but couldn't he still be in the fucking Vision?
He could.
Couldn't he have walked around with the Vision and the belt? But why kick him out now? It made no sense to kick him out now because he's hurt. Why does that matter? Oh, we want the title. Why didn't you want the title 3 months ago?
People are going to argue with you that with the whole other people getting injured and they weren't on TV either. So fair is fair, I guess they're going to say.
But why would other people be on TV injured? He's leading a group. He could go ahead and continue to lead the group. If Liv needed to be there, I'm sure they would have had her there sooner. They just had nothing for her. With him, they had all this story planned out where he would be leading until WrestleMania.
Seth needs to be there to lead the story. Liv not being there creates the story of, okay, what are they
What's
going
going
to
to happen? Exactly. But there's so many other people, like I said, like a Bailey being gone, like a Finn Balor, and even Penta's injured right now. There is no reason to have these people there week to week. Seth was the leader of the Vision, and guess what? He didn't need to be there every week.
That's why I'd like to compare, and I contrast the differences there. Like Seth needed to be there for his storyline because that's what created more story. Liv not being there created like stories with the other characters around the show, like how Raquel would be towards Dom without Liv being there, how Finn would be, like how they just treated Dom without Liv's presence.
And so I need story to get connected for these matches. I don't give a shit always about the 5-star match if it doesn't have an emotional connection to get there. Hey, that's my problem, you know, and that's a lot of it. Tony puts on great matches, but the story is lacking most times. We're not getting there, and that's my problem with it. Well, so the lacking
Dave
here.
And Sports Illustrated, AEW is company of the year.
They are killing it.
Of the year.
You know, they're killing it. Are they doing a little bit better with some things? Yes, but with their title picture, their champions, I don't feel like they're doing great. So.
That's
AEW, yeah.
Better.
I know. We got a lot to discuss there. So here's the thing with this, though.
In my bed.
No, it's just that it comes back to WWE rushing the gun for a moment and always doing things without explaining. They used to have story planned out. Why did Cena turn heel? Why didn't he? Why did he turn face again? Why is Seth kicked out now? Because he's hurt? Well, what does that matter? Because now we want the title. So why didn't you want the title 2 months ago? Like it doesn't make sense. There's nothing here to get into because why? And now we have the mystery attacker being Austin Theory. So you already have a Logan Paul. Isn't that your Austin Theory? So now you're going to have a fourth in the group and all of you want the titles. So why are you all supporting each other? What is the goal? What is the vision in the vision? We have no vision. We have no, you know, we're there to support Braun Breaker. Well, why are they not attacking Braun Breaker and taking him out? It doesn't work. And here's the thing again. We have Drew McIntyre. What did he do this year?
Saying I got screwed.
He got screwed.
Cody.
He got screwed before by he said Damian Priest. Damian Priest ruined him because he cashed in on him at Mania, and since then he's not had any success. So that's the story that they're, retroactively putting out there. But realistically, after the great feud that he had with CM Punk, the Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, they did nothing. They had him take on Cody, and they had him get beat clean multiple times. And since then, They have Drew go and attack Cody in his bus and, oh, how dare you come where my family is. But then Cody comes to his house and he freaks out. Oh, you're near my family? Like shouldn't you be the badass and oh, I got to protect my home. But why are you freaking out? You know, Cody's not going to come and attack your kids. He's not a psychopath, but you're supposed to be. The Scottish psychopath. Aren't we supposed to fear you and not know? So now it's all Big Bad Priest's fault, even though you're fighting Cody. And it's all Big Bad Priest's fault, even though he's feuding with Aleister Black and their Timu, Killer Cross and Scarlet. Anyways, Gunther taps out at Mania and then comes back and struggles to beat Pat McAfee. Struggles to beat Pat McAfee.
Hey, you're gonna get mad at me here. Pat McAfee is a professional athlete.
No doubt, but they don't. They really play him up as the retired broadcaster. That's it. He's not younger by any means, like when he came into NXT and still had a bit of that youthful exuberance. He's in his 40s, late. He's getting there. He's up in tow. I'm not knocking Pat. He's a hell of an athlete. But Gunther, it shouldn't have been this, for what they were trying to build to and do with him. Because what's after this for Gunther? He's going to go retire Goldberg. but you're struggling with Pat McAfee after tapping out to Jey Uso. That's the year you have planned. So then he beats Goldberg, and then he makes Cena tap like a bitch. That's Gunther for 2025. Hope you're happy. Lesnar, we haven't seen since the Janelle Grant stuff came out.
Well, last thing with Gunther here, like, so I don't know. People are saying that's why because of the heel reactions, but like did the best they could with it, but like let's see how it plays out.
I mean, they did the best of what they got the result with, and that's
like,
the thing.
But what if Cena wanted it? Just because John fucking Cena wanted something, that doesn't mean I have to fucking agree with it, you dumb motherfuckers. I'm getting into this real quick. Yeah. Listen, I don't give a fuck what Cena likes. I didn't like it. So John Cena agreed to turn heel, dumbasses. But does that mean that we all have to go there around and dancing around the campfire and say, yay, John Cena turned heel and we all love it now? No,
Cena.
So shut the fuck up with your contradictory and go suck it. I can't. I don't want to get our fucking podcast, but I won't say the rest.
I got you. Sorry. Wrong button. Here we go. There we go. But I agree. I hit the crickets instead of the censoring, but we're getting there, you know? It worked out perfect, I tell you. You mother. Regardless, you're spot on. They need someone there with sound, rhyme, and reason to back these things up. To go ahead and tell us, hey, that's a bad idea. And don't you remember 2 years ago when you did this and this and this? So that doesn't really make sense. You know, Lesnar comes back. No reason of where he's been or why he's not returned since he's been gone. Even in kayfabe, I know you don't want to touch on the Janelle stuff. Maybe you don't want to touch on him being gone. You just want to, he's triumphantly back. Okay. So you haven't come out and attacked Cena. Why?
But there's a reason why you don't want him on TV, not because of that. So then other people, we need to make that another clear thing first before why we don't want him. Do you think this is a touchy subject, people? So
yes,
you can mute the TV, exit out of this video if you don't like this topic.
Don't tell them that. You gotta stay here. Just fast forward.
I'm sorry. Hey, just fast forward until wherever we're done. But do you think Brock Lesnar is a quote unquote what's YouTube's friendly language here? Rapist?
Yeah.
Right?
No, he's not a pet. He's not a sexual. He's not a predator. He's not any of those terrible words that they like to say. We've all asked for a few videos, haven't we? I mean, no, really, like what is he guilty of in this? Because I can't stand the man. I've been a great known dejector and hater of Sir Lesnar for a long time now. And even
a lot of women and men have like kinks, like let me see your what you asked for.
Let me look at your.
Let me see your feet.
Exactly.
Let me see your whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Let me see your baby. You know, everybody. Well, yeah. I mean, whatever. But granted, he didn't force anything. He was offered, and that's a commonality in not just the sport, but wrestling. You know, guys are open relationships. They share. It is a very thing that happens on the road. I'm not for an open relationship, but doesn't mean they don't exist, and doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. You know, and
wrestling?
In wrestling and day-to-day life, like all of it, you know, they say never give up for a reason, right? Well, Lesnar.
Are you insinuating that the male talent and female
could be? Anyways, I mean, I could be insinuating that they're both, but still, Vince, all of it, the whole court case is a bad thing. But if they did a full investigation, we see the text messages. No, it doesn't make Lesnar look the best, but he didn't do anything illegal, and that's what really should take precedent here. He did nothing illegal. You can call him a slime ball. You could, he's married. How dare he talk to another woman? But morally reprehensible, sure, but not a rapist at all.
They're saying, why is he on TV when he should be in jail right now? Remember that?
If that was the case, then lock him up. Go arrest him. Everybody in that thing, because there's more than just. And you got Cena defending Vince, saying he should still be here. I love him, was his last quote.
Yep.
John Cena saying this. So this is the number one worst match for many people. I think Sportskeeda, there's quite a few that put Brock Lesnar squashing Cena as their number one. Yeah, that was their number one. They said John Cena and Lesnar, it was a one-sided, with the Beast Incarnated dominating. No one loves watching one-sided dominance. And he destroyed him with a series of F5s. The C Nation leader never actually got an opportunity. So, yeah.
Like with that WrestleMania match, you would think, oh, things can't get worse with that, right? Oh, yeah. WWE and Triple H were like, hold my beer.
Exactly. We had Cody and John at WrestleMania 41, and that was horrible, obviously, between the match itself and the run-in. Getting, Travis out there.
So how did they top that?
I don't know. He keeps coming back.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
Still, Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella at Clash in Paris is definitely a horrible match. Nikki was the face and got booed like the heel. Everybody cheered Becky Lynch. Jey Uso and Austin Theory, funny, I brought that up earlier. That was a horrible 1-minute match. Not at all prepping him for Gunther on Raw. Tiffany Stratton, Nia, and Jade, everybody hates that because of the big botch finish. Obviously, the ref not counting to 3, and the fact that Jade got sent into the steps and busted wide open. I don't dispute that with people. You and I even made a joke with the women's division with AJ Lee, her big return, her triumphant 10-year reunion of the class of 2015. She manages to return. And this is after she dealt with all the bullying and needling about her husband and all the nonsense when she was still on the roster and he wasn't. And the lawsuit and everything. So she leaves the wrestling world, doesn't look back, gets the offer, and it got put together very quickly. People thought that this was a long deal, but the lawyers made this happen kind of in a weekend. So they had WrestlePalooza be invented because ESPN wanted a kickoff, PLE, for their announcement of ESPN Plus and WWE for their buyout. WWE puts it together. They say, who do you want? And Lesnar's one of the names thrown around. So they get Lesnar and Cena. And then they say that we want a big return or a big star. And that's when CM Punk and AJ Lee kind of get into the conversation. And they get AJ Lee back for the tag match. Thing is, though, they bring AJ Lee back. Yay, great. But like I said so many jokingly times before, they broke glass to in case of emergency, and then they let her fuck off, and they had nothing planned for her. And she even said, like, oh, I'm back. This is not a one-off initially. And then it was, well, I'm back, but I'm only going to be here every once in a while. And she returns one episode before War Games. We get her in the War Games match. I think she took one bump and threw 3 moves, War Games, including the finish, and that was that, right? Yes, correct. And that's it.
So
and we haven't seen her
lied,
since.
like when they did that backstage thing where Triple H was giving her contract back full time shit.
Yeah. I mean, they baited us into really just believing what wasn't. And
so you'll probably see her in the Rumble, stuff like that.
Probably. And it's just it's an upsetting state of affair to know.
Bigger pay-per-views? Probably
the Rumble, Mania, and that'll be it. That'll be likely.
Well, you'll get her in SummerSlam, maybe.
Yeah, and Naomi getting injured after starting a good heel run. That was upsetting. She cashes in, takes the title, and then gets hurt. And Stephanie Vacour takes the title, but doesn't really feel like she's hit that ascension yet, like you had pointed out. So, and she's kind of done nothing with it since because she's had nobody to face. Early? I don't think she won it too early, but I think you were on the right track of her not having anybody to face and work with. They really didn't have that planned out, so it kind of looks like it's too early because she's only taken on Nikki Bella, and that's sucked for the most part. I mean, that's
she took on Nikki Bella.
Yay, exactly. And Nikki Bella, who then is turning heel.
Yes, heel. No faces around here.
Like we said, with so many things that we're getting less of. We're getting less matches. We're getting, we're getting less time on cards. We're just all these things. There are just so many moments this year that we wanted to look forward to, that we wanted to celebrate, that we wanted to just be positive about. Cena completing his Grand Slam championship aspirations never felt like a goal of his. It never felt like anything that was going to happen or felt necessary or in even the wheelhouse of a possibility. So when it happens, they're like, see what we gave you? And it's like, well, no, I mean, I okay, it's something, but he was supposed to be in Boston for his last match. Oh, well, you moved it to DC just, and that was the thing. And it just was one disappointment after another. And I hate saying it, but like we covered a lot so far, that it really has.
I know that we're backtracking a little. I know we're getting closer to the end here, but can I bring this up real quick about John Cena?
Please, absolutely.
So Roxanne Perez was asked about
the hell are you asking for?
Like the John Cena match and stuff, and she reveals that after the Survivor Series match, he brought everyone together, everyone that was part of the match. He brought Finn Balor, JD, Liv Morgan, Roxanne, Dominic, all saying, what do you think we could have done better for that match? Like, I think it was like a learning moment for all, like, what could we have done better? And he wanted to pick their brains, seeing their ideas too.
Yeah. He was still giving his all, even in the situation that didn't call for it. What can we learn from this? He makes everybody sit around the cooler. He gets 24 beers and 12 non-alcoholic ones and has everybody talk.
That's good, though. The wrestlers need that.
That's what I hope is something like, Cody carries on. John was in the bus when Cody was traveling. Now it's Cody's time. Like, things have changed. And that's why I was excited at one point when they unveil things and it's like, oh, look, they're going tongue in cheek with it. And they have these little moments, but then it's like there's no development. And that's been a big part of this year too. Look at El Grande Americano, something that should have been over in a couple weeks' time has been a never-ending experiment with multiple, suitors wearing the masks and whatnot. We've seen that go all over the place. Maybe it's not as bad as the roast of WrestleMania was, but still, the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico issue was funny to have that be a controversy. A controversy indeed. I'm just thinking back, and obviously, the WrestleMania moments were the ones that stand out, not just the freshest in our mind, but also the strongest because of how impactful, important, and great WrestleMania 40 was. And coming out of what had been, some of not so great times, not so great events, it's been tough. So I'm curious, it's like, how did they not learn their lessons? How did they not realize it's they had so few of everything, the title changes, it's hard not to look at it.
Cena doesn't want fumbles like that for like Liv's. That's why he called her over, telling her, like, yo, what do you think you could have done better for your return? You need to learn from, like, you need that tough leadership in the locker room.
Yes. Am I saying this is the worst year in wrestling? Absolutely not. You and I have screamed it from the mountaintops that 2019, 1993, 95, 2011, you could argue. You could even argue 2015, 2019, but 2025 has been mediocre. It's been depressing. It's been upsetting, but we've still gotten some very good wrestling. We've gotten some really good moments. Yes, we still have some really great members on the rosters and stars. The only thing I can say is at least those moments and days and tickets were affordable. That really stands out for me. I'm not touching into NXT things, obviously, but one of the things that I found very disappointing in the worst of the year was the soft call-ups. I understand that they wanted to get the fans to know people, but instead of being like, this is Stephanie Vacour, this is Julia, they brought them up. Oh, from NXT. Oh, now they're a Raw star. Here's Roxanne Perez from NXT. Oh, now she's a Raw star. And it didn't have that triumphant unveiling or that big to do. It didn't have any type of raucous emotion with it or any type of like dire consequences. Oh my God, this person's here. They have arrived. Instead, it was just like, yeah, no shit. We've been seeing them for weeks and they're good, but it's just another one, And
if you do that, though, I think they did that because like not everyone watches NXT, and some people don't know who the hell
But that's
they
the
are.
point of creative. Get these people over. Just having them appear on the show for a couple of weeks does nothing but just show them. It doesn't show who their character is. It doesn't teach you about them. It doesn't get you to know them. We just see them wrestle a few times. So you become familiar with them, but you don't know them. And that's really the biggest part. You don't know them. A lot of people said the worst match of the year was Thea Hale versus Blake Monroe. They were at the end of that match when the botch happened. And I think that was one of the best moments of the year. They got a botch to show why winning the title gets you over. As I said to you earlier, there have been so many moments this year where they're going to have somebody lose and lose and lose, because eventually when they win, it'll mean something. They did it with Joe Hendry. They did it with Mike Santana. You know, we've seen it over and over and over. Thea Hale won, instantly over. Everybody on the internet going fucking crazy. And I look and I see so many people with not even stop-start, just stop and wait. This shows that, hey, that wasn't a botch. The ref counted to 3. She didn't kick out, and the fans accepted it. No one said you fucked up. No one said bullshit. People rejoiced. There was not one bit of negativity attached to it. As were weeks before when people didn't count the 3 count with the Nia match, with the speedball, and you know, and we've seen it on both sides. Shelton Benjamin and Speedball when they got it, and people were upset, just like they were with the Nia stuff, because, yes, wrestling isn't real, but could you at least treat it like such? And that gets me to my next point. It was already that The Rock was involved in the Cena heel turn, but having Triple H involved in every facet of it, like he was the more important deal. I am not a Triple H overall like detractor, like some either think or are themselves. I don't have Hunter derangement syndrome. I don't view him as all the problem. I don't think he has as much of the say as most people think. I genuinely feel like he's not a terrible booker or promoter, but I do hate how much. Yes, I know you peeled back the curtain. I know you killed kayfabe, but John just retired. Do you really have to be like, oh, so sad, too bad, you know, like it's fake, get over it? We all know it's fake, but you don't even see, you know, Keanu Reeves coming out of the Matrix and being like, well, obviously I played the character.
Everyone though, people are like, but they're retiring, they should, like, why does everyone need that same thing? Everyone needs to. Everyone needs a year.
Everyone needs to put somebody over. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody, it's just, it doesn't work.
People then like some podcasters are like, well, no, there's some rare instances where like the superhero should win in the end. John Cena.
Yeah. And you and I will be discussing their list that they put out. They put out their top 25 moments of 2025, and we've touched upon some of it. And I agree with JD there. Like that Sports Illustrated, that is paid by AEW, no doubt. Oh, the AEW and Sports Illustrated. You think they got to have somebody that's on the payroll or something, because they have been very, very like anti WWE. But when WWE is even picking their own things, it shows how they're so much more focused on Sports Illustrated, remember, said that Naomi's heel turn was better than Cena's heel turn. Yes, they said that, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Both sides, that one hates WWE and the other one like, doesn't understand what they're doing. But idiots don't understand that heel runs are different than heel turns. Yeah, and I'm telling you, look at how they start their list. I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about this separately, but Omos manhandling Microman should not be your moment of the year list contender. It shouldn't be number 25. It should. That's a big moment because a giant barely kicked a midget like that. That's what we're going for here. That's amazing. There was no story. It was just a moment, and that shows how. You know, they're focused on Demonette, and they want their, you know, Leesca published with Brad Bunny, and we're gonna shit on that. Absolutely. Article. So we've gone over worst matches, worst moments, worst, you know, a lot of it, and I think the worst part of it all is that they did a great job at killing Hope. The worst part of it all, they killed Hope this year. They really did. They managed to, every time I felt like, oh, there's someone I want to believe in, or there's some momentum here, CM Punk is a champion, and he feels like an afterthought. Cody is a champion as well, and it's like, you don't feel like it. I don't know why they feel like they can't have guys at the top anymore, or top talents. They feel like they have to elevate everybody, which makes them elevate nobody.
Are we saying our closing statements here? I'm not sure if I want to save this now or until the end. Are we saying like
yeah, basically. I mean, unless you have much more to add, I feel like we've successfully tore this year to shreds.
My last take.
Yeah.
My last take is like what I want to see better for WWE in 2026, and like they're pussies. They fucking go ahead and say, oh, we only can have these big title changes happen at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. We can't have any crazy things happen on a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. We can't have them on the B-level PLEs. We can only have big betrayals, title wins, like shit like that happen at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. That needs to stop.
Yeah.
You can do title changes elsewhere.
Exactly. That's why the Thea Hale moment is so renowned and enjoyed, because you don't need to make everything wait to WrestleMania. You don't need to make it all wait to SummerSlam. That's one of the things I said before I loved about the Attitude Era. Hot potato. Yeah, it makes them feel important. Makes the belt feel like anything's possible.
2 examples anyway. Like the Raquel Stephan, like I think January 5th they're doing like a women's world title match and men's world title match. They said, why would like a Braun Breaker win, or why would Raquel win to advance her story with it's a Monday Night Raw? I'm like, why can't Monday Night Raws help elevate stories sometimes and have great moments for you wanted to watch the next week of that programming? Why is that like a foreign concept?
Exactly. Why is that the issue? Why is that the only focal point that we can have? And then it comes down to the Rock Shoot interview on the Pat McAfee show, where everybody else is at fault and no one should be doing anything but him, So it's like we really got the worst of all. And I would like to see them, as you said, be able to make things matter. And how do they do that? They don't wait on storylines. Let things develop. Let people take titles at Saturday night's main events. Let them take it on Raws and SmackDowns. Let things develop naturally. Let us get into the feuds.
You're going to see a big difference here, because last year, this would have been the opposite. This length of a video would have been talking about all the positives, and the negatives would have been a shorter video.
Absolutely.
You're going to see the length difference in like positives this year and the negative video this year.
Yeah.
There's going to be a significant length in video difference, because that's how bad WWE was. And people call us WWE shills. We just tore them to fucking shreds.
Absolutely. And there was indeed good. It wasn't all bad. I'll tell you that. There were some excellent promos, returns, wins, moments, and matches. No doubt about it. And we're going to get into that, folks. But certainly not as much as there was to pick apart. So we want to know from Cody and I here and into somewhere, what were your favorite worst moments of the year? What was on your list? Let us know down below. Tell us what your top worst matches are, top worst moments, worst feuds. Give us your overall worst, and let us know, what are you looking forward to the most in 2026? I'm going to top off on what you said, sir. Besides them just doing more with the titles and advancing stories in that sense, not making everything so slow to happen, I'd like to see more advancement. But I would also like to have them be a bit more consistent as well. They kind of just do with what's necessary, and I get it in the realm of wrestling, but they have some people get rematches, other people don't. Some people never get a rematch and it's never brought up ever. And then other people get 3, like, you know what I'm saying? Some champions get special treatment and others not at all whatsoever. And that's not always by design. It happens to work out that way. So I wish they were a bit more consistent with the rules, and they wouldn't be so fast and loose with those things, because fans become to rely on, this person lost, they're going to get their rematch. Well, Gunther never got his rematch with Punk. Shouldn't he be, things like that. So that's my hope for tomorrow, hope for the change. We'll see what occurs. But thank you so much for being here, my good friend. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year to all. We'll be back again, as we said, with our best of list. And on top of that, we have a lot more coming soon. We've got our Into Somewhere office party coming up this Monday. That's going to be a great time as we're hanging out, playing games, and being merry, giving away some new stuff here. We're going to be having gifts and prizes and all of it. It's going to be a great time. So we hope to see you there. Besides that, folks, make sure you go ahead and follow us. Where, Cody? Tell these people where they can find you.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. You can find me over on my YouTube. Yes, we got the PC situated, just trying to make some either room in my room for the setup, or I'm good to just do it in the living room. But you can find me over there also at Judgment Day Era, and you can find me over on my Instagram. No longer a Judgment Day page chill. According to Instagram, I was, but I'm not, and now I'm definitely not. Thanks a lot, Jake. Or say sorry.
I take no blame here. Wait, I mean, I'm sorry. Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Thank you, Daddy. Wait, what? Oh, anyway, you can find me over there at Cody_Onidi_316.
Yes, indeed. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us here. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, youtube.com/Jake DeMarco. Find us on Twitter at Countdown Ended. And until then, I hope you all stay sexy, stay merry, and we'll see you soon.